I want you to reconsider your rejection.
You are a pugilist with a criminal record.
You want to look at St. Matthew? St. Augustine, St. Francis. I mean, some of the most remarkable figures in the history of the church are reformed men.
Yes, but I think what the church needs now, more than ever, is to elevate the standard for a priest.
No, what the church needs is somebody who's going to fight for God. That's me.
So you've been Catholic for a while. You've been to Mass. You've got a lot of friends who are priests, but this is your first time playing a priest?
Yes.
What was it like? Did you learn anything new about the priesthood?
Yeah, well, you know, I've been fortunate enough to meet lots of people who serve our God and are have been amazing influence in my life and my faith, and they're all characters, very much like Stu. But it takes a unique individual to dedicate their lives to serving God in the way that they do. So,
absolutely. So some have asked you about the physical preparation you did from the fight scene to the end of the movie when you're on the floor in the bathroom, and what an amazing and incredible physical preparation you did. Mm-hmm. What about the spiritual side of things? Was there anything unique you did to prepare for this spiritually?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been pursuing just a relationship with God and trying to use that as the foundation for everything in my life since I was very young, since I was a teenager. And so, you know, there's been lots of bumps in the road and you know, faced a lot of adversity along the way. But, you know, when studying and preparing, it wasn't until really the pandemic where I just started having some, I wouldn't say doubts, but just questions. Lots of questions why, and of course all those questions were answered for me when we made the film and we saw the film in its entirety, which is wonderful because the timing is perfect. The people needing something like this right now, you know, to reaffirm their faith and, you know, renew hope in them and encourage people to really be more open and loving and accepting of people for who they are and how you deal with these difficult and most of the times, you know, pretty inevitable circumstances. You know, we're all dealing with loss and we're seeing it more and more around us as we get older. So
you're releasing this during Holy Week, and it's a movie about suffering. And so if Holy Week, we come face to face with Christ's suffering, and Father Stu was grateful for his suffering, which just seems bizarre. It doesn't make sense. Why was Father Stu grateful?
He really felt like that was how he got so close to the Lord. And, you know, he felt like because of all of the things that he had done in his past, that he deserved so much more, and anything difficult, he was going to embrace it. That was going to be his cross to bear. And he was going to really utilize that approach to help other people deal with similar circumstances. And that's why there were lines and lines of people waiting to talk to Stu, because he had so much real life experience to draw on. And they knew that he had been through everything that they could have been through. And that he would come from a really honest and sincere place when trying to guide them.
Another question I had was, why do people want to go to confession with Father Stu? Because, I mean, non-Catholics find confession weird, which is fair. Yeah. Most Catholics don't want to go to confession because it's uncomfortable, and people are lining up.
I was thinking of, somebody asked me, you know, if I was able to confess to Father Stu, what would he say? And I'd say at this stage of my life, he'd say I'm very boring and dull. But that being said, no, it's a wonderful gift. My faith especially, it just gives me so much comfort in dealing with all of the difficulties that you face in life and all the uncertainty, and it really comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the questions that I also wanted to ask is about relationships in the movie. So you see just the strained relationships of addiction, grief, difference of belief, which I think a lot of people can relate to, especially in the past several years, rifts in family. And what do you think Father Stu teaches us about relationships?
To always see the good in people and never giving up on anybody. You know, he was always fighting till the end, encouraging people to be the best versions of themselves. I think that is a challenge that is posed to the audience after seeing the film too. Obviously Stu's calling was the priesthood, but whatever part we are called to play, just make sure that we're looking out for those signals, and we're doing our part and just trying to better ourselves.
One of the things I think Catholics are going to be really excited about is the portrayal of our Blessed Mother in the film.
Yes.
I thought it was surprising. I'm not going to give any spoilers. What was it like portraying Father Stu's relationship with our Blessed Mother?
It was very powerful. It was very powerful. Some of the most remarkable people that have ever come into my life have been really powerful, strong women. To have that relationship portrayed in the film in that way, and how much Stu relied on Mary. We prayed for her intercession a lot for the film, as well as Stu's and the Lord. So,
I'm a young Catholic mom. You're dad, Catholic dad. What do you want to say to Catholic Catholic parents out there.
I wanted my kids to have a faith-based education, but I want to be an example. And they see that Dad cannot start his day without getting on his hands and knees, and that all my prayer time, my daily devotionals, all that stuff, and going to Mass, it's just absolute must for me. And then hopefully they'll say, well, this thing really works for Dad. Maybe it's worth, exploring a little bit more, and they kind of find it on their own. That's the most important thing for me. Just trying to be an example, and it worked with golf. I was trying to make my sons play golf. They said they hated it. It was terrible. And now guess what? They're both playing golf on their own.
It works.
They're coming to play golf with me, which is great.
That's beautiful. Well, I have to say, like I said thank you, but I want to extend also just affirmation that you did an amazing job with this. And it's really impactful. I think it's going to bring a lot of people closer together in their families, and then also with their faith, reconnect them to their faith. My last question for you.
That's 3 times now that you got me emotional. You're not supposed to do that. Thank you.
Well, I watched the movie, so I was pretty emotional myself.
I can't help but think about that.
You've spoken about that in your career, just being at a point where you really want to serve, and you're considering roles that have maybe confront that element of suffering in life. What do you, see in the future after this?
Just kind of figure out where I'm at. I've got some other films that I've been working on and developing, but I'm hoping other stories now will come my way that are as inspiring and as important, and hopefully finding other young filmmakers who have stories that they want to tell and help them to bring their stories to an audience, and also, do a lot of stuff that I don't need to be out there talking about. It's just what I'm supposed to be doing, and you kind of do that in secret. I don't need a pat on the back for any of it. But I am talking in a way where I want to talk about, me doing more and encouraging everybody else to do more, because this is something that I should be doing, But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I just got to go do it and stop talking about it.